Welcome to the Lifting Lounge podcast. Join your hosts, Josh Parkin and Jack Buffery, as they give you the knowledge and the tools to take your physical and mental performance to the next level.
Yeah, buddy.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Well, for people listening, this will be it'll be a Monday or a Thursday, but happy Saturday, Jack.
Yeah, it's nice. I've been looking forward to this weekend all week. Sometimes, I don't usually like living for the weekend, but this week it's been nice to wake up on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, definitely. I know exactly what you mean, man. Well, before we get into it, I will quickly go through what is in today's episode. Today's episode, our tip is all going to be about the biceps. And Geek Corner, we're talking about a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game that's coming out and other comic spin-offs. In the Fit Talk, we're going to talk about our biggest no-nos in the gym. Study time, another AI study time, but about your biological age. And in the hot topic of today is how to bench press a huge weight. So I'm excited about this one.
Very nice.
As always, guys, if you have any questions or topics you want us to cover in any of these sections, then join our Facebook group and ping the questions away. Ask away.
Yeah. I like it.
Happy days.
So, Josh, sometimes when I think about tips, I'm lacking in two things. One is length, which can be like, I guess, is how much that tip can be stretched out. And the other one is the general pump of the tip as well. So I was wondering if you could help me with just like lengthening or stretching and pumping my tip today for me and the audience.
You do. I do. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the adverts for that online. if you need something to pump and stretch your tip.
I get emails about that shit every fucking day.
Mate, there's only one reason that it's the algorithm it knows what you've been searching for.
So just before we go into your tip, I'm going to tell you something quick. When I turned 30, a bunch of my mates thought it'd be hilarious to sign me up for physical and digital stuff for people between 60 and 80 years old. So when I turned 30, I started getting in the mail Stena Stairlift and catalogs. A load of Viagra type stuff turned up, and it's never stopped because my email address hasn't changed. So I still get stuff like that no matter how much I unsubscribe. So yeah, it's been happening a long time.
That's funny. That's really funny. That's a good mate's prank. I love that. That's great. I'm going to start doing that to people now. I'm definitely going to start doing that to people. Do you know who a good person to do that to would be our colleague Ben. He would be perfect person to do that to. That'd be so funny. Right. Yeah. So my fit tip for today is all about the biceps. And if you're wanting to get a better pump and a better stretch on the biceps, better muscle connection, when you are training them, what you want to focus on is really focus on the eccentric portion of the rep, so the lowering down portion of the rep. But when you lower them down, keep your elbows forward. I see a lot of people do this when they're training biceps, and they'll just like speed rep everything and don't control the eccentric and let the elbows come back. What happens when you let your elbows come back is your biceps generally tends to not give your biceps a stretch, and your shoulders take the load instead. So when you're doing bicep curls, keep your elbows forwards, then straighten your arms out fully. And then at the bottom of the rep, squeeze your tricep at the bottom of the rep. And that will allow you, if you can fully squeeze the tricep at the bottom of the rep, you know that you've gone to a full stretch of the bicep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that tricep contraction at the bottom is like probably the most important bit as well, because it's all about the elbow position, isn't it? When people are throwing their shoulders back, I mean, biomechanically, that should actually give the bicep a bigger stretch. But the problem is they're not actually stretching their elbows out at the same time. So that's like they're just they're creating a momentum to swing through the shoulders, aren't they? So yeah, that's a really good shout. If you like lock your elbows in and then just stretch it out. This is why I like. They're not spider curls. What are the other ones? What are the ones where you're laying back on an incline bench? Is it just incline bench curl? Is that what they're called?
Yeah. Incline curls, yeah.
I love incline bench curls because if you're locking the shoulders in position, then that is literally the bicep at its longest stretch and doing bicep curl through there. That's also humbling as well.
Yeah, really humbling. But I love it. I've been getting for myself in the gym, and we were training yesterday with some guys, and I had a little bit of time for a pump at the end. And normally they're the kind of guys that just like to like smash it out, really like throw themselves into it. But I went, no, right, we're going to do tempo, real slow, high reps, focusing on the position of the elbow, focusing on like getting as much stretch as possible and as much squeeze as possible in the arms. And it blew them up. So it was good.
They did look good. I must admit, I saw you having fun, and it was like, well, I was getting excited as well, just watching them get a pump on it. It was like really good fun. It was a fun end of the session. I saw you done a curl that I hardly ever do, actually, but I did do it when we designed the training program together, which is the elbows up, face height, that kind of curl, and that's just grim. That's that's a hard move.
Yeah, it's savage.
But yeah, that is a great tip. You have succeeded in stretching and pumping that tip, so well done.
Nice. Pump and dump. So now moving on to Geek Corner. And as you mentioned to me the other day, Jack, I went and looked into it, and there's a new video game coming out. And it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game, but not as you may think. So a while ago, a comic came out, a Ninja Turtles comic came out called The Last Ronin. And if anybody doesn't know what that is, it's a comic about there's only one of them left. All three of the turtles have been killed off, and I'm pretty sure it's only Michelangelo left. He's the only one left.
I assumed it would have been Raphael, just out of I had no idea it was only Michelangelo. That's cool. That's a good twist.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only Michelangelo left. I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to double check now. And he has all the weapons. So yeah, it's in an alternate universe where you know he has all the weapons, and he's essentially taking on the grandson of the Shredder. And it's cool. It's a really cool comic. It's like a dark version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And what I love is these comics or these stories where they take like childhood TV shows like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and then put in like an adult dark twist on it. And it's just cool. It's just a really cool idea. And it'd be interesting to know what other spin-offs you would like to see that's similar to that like in an alternate universe kind of thing where it's a bit darker, and what genres you think would lend good to that. There is a couple that have happened and I've read, and one of them is a Scooby-Doo one, which you wouldn't think is good, but it's Scooby-Doo set in the future in a zombie apocalypse.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so good. It's a wicked comic. Like Scooby's like biting fucking the head off a zombie. They've all got guns and shit. Yeah, it's cool as fuck. It's a really good comic.
Oh, that's a good show. I don't know. It reminds me of that when The Last of Us came out. Saturday Night Live done a sketch with Pedro Pascal about a bleak dystopian Mario Kart, which was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. One of the ones that just came to mind was, what's it called? Mighty Max. I used to love Mighty Max, and I always thought that could do that could go quite well. Oh, I don't know. There are so many different ones that could be done. It depends. Like, I could see it working for the Zelda lore, but I would almost not like it because it would almost taint what Zelda is a little bit. But it would be amazing to see that sort of thing happen with Zelda lore. There was going to be a spin-off starring Shake as a Zelda game. It never happened back in the early 2000s. Oh, I don't know.
They did do a Power Rangers comic line as well, which is also really good. It's a really good comic line. Something about comics when they do it in comics or books, they just manage to turn it into something like they manage to add that bit more like grit and darkness to it. You know.
Have you seen that fan-made Power Rangers film?
What? No.
Oh my god! I need to send it to you. So it's done by a legitimate director, and it's high budget and everything like that, and it's set in a future where most of them have been killed off, and it is brutal. Like, it is really brutal. It's got James Van Der Beek, and I cannot remember what it's called, but I will send you a link for that. But you will love it. It's I think it's about 20 minutes long. So you've got the Black Ranger. He is he's like a celebrity fitness personnel who's just coked off his head the whole time, and he's hired by governments to go and take people out. And it's you've got I can't remember who else is it, but yeah, it's brutal. Like, the Red Ranger is just all messed up with scars all over his face. I can't remember if Tommy's in it. I think he might be dead. But yeah, honestly, I'll send it to you. It is right up your street on that one. But go on. Sorry, I interrupted you. You were going to say something else.
No. That sounds epic. That sounds something I want to watch. There's one that came out this year. I don't know if you heard about this one that came out. Is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Have you heard about this?
I've heard of it. I never watched it, and it got slated in the reviews that I saw. But yeah. I didn't bother watching it.
I've just got it up. So it's an hour and a half horror slasher movie, and it's got very bad reviews. But the plot is Pooh and Piglet essentially become feral beasts and try and murder everybody. The tagline is, "We'll be friends forever, won't we?"
Of course. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Dear. I'm trying to find that thing so I can send it to you. Remind me after this episode, because I will see it. I will send it to you.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Conker's Bad Fur Day on the N64. Did you ever play that?
No.
So the original Conker's character was this sweet little squirrel thing, and they were going to make the initial plans for when they made this game were to make like a platformer. So Rare, they made GoldenEye, but they also made Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong as well. So the idea was that they were just going to have another one like that, but this one with Conker, who was a squirrel. But then they decided to change things up, and it got delayed, and everyone was like, well, why is this being delayed? And then it came out, and it was called Conker's Bad Fur Day. And the beginning of it is Conker absolutely smashed, saying, "Oh, I don't want to fucking deal with this shit." This cute little squirrel in cartoon, in like cartoon graphics, and you play around like you get pissed. It takes the piss out of all the movies at the time of like The Matrix and other films like that. You fight the King Pooh on Shit Mountain. There's just like it is so gross and disgusting, but it just was not expected. But that sort of done it because of the self-awareness that they'd just been putting out a load of child-friendly content, so they decided to do that. I'll send you a link to that one as well, because that's actually really good.
That's brilliant. It reminds me of, do you ever watch any of Robot Chicken stuff?
Yeah, I like Robot Chicken. Only the Star Wars stuff. Well, actually, I've watched some of the Justice League stuff as well. But yeah, it is great.
Yeah. And they did one. What's the old cartoon of the kid with the tiger?
I don't know.
Something Hobcob. Oh, god damn it. It's going to annoy me. But they did one where it's this little kid and this tiger, and his friends are with a tiger. And It's fucking brutal. There's this Robot Chicken comic about he makes friends with this tiger, and then the tiger's like telling him to like murder people and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, and then the kid, they like get on a rocket and go to Mars, and then it just cuts to the kids in a straitjacket in a full like mental hospital room going, Mars is amazing, Mars is amazing. Turns out it's fucking crazy.
Did you
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the oh no, my train of thought's just gone. Where was that going? That was because that is exactly what we were talking about. Oh no, it's gone. That's really annoying. That was a good one I had in my mind then as well. Sod it. But no, there's I'm sure there are loads that I could think of that would be really good for that. But at the moment,
yeah,
there's one in particular I just had in my head.
mean,
I'm gonna remember it halfway through the episode and I'll tell you, but that's fine.
But yeah, I think there's room for some cool spin-offs. I'm looking forward to this Ronin game though. I mean, I think it'd be good. It might be good fun. It'd be cool if they actually made that into a movie as well. Like I would be willing to watch that, like a dark spin on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it being Michelangelo as well is cool because he's like, it's a bit of a twist on his character, going from being the happy-go-lucky kind of guy to being essentially on his own and serious and basically like Batman, I guess.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you watch the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air remake?
No, I haven't. Apparently it's really serious.
Yeah, it's really serious. So I haven't watched it, and this is kind of on the same thing. But obviously, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was the comical kind of thing with some emotional family moments and stuff. But basically, this came about from another fan trailer. So a fan trailer was made of reimagined Fresh Prince, but in a serious, like gang war type of area. And the trailer that was made, I think, ended up being used as a prequel to explain the backstory of the new version of it, and it's like completely different. You've still got all the same characters. You've got Uncle Phil, Hillary, what's his name, Colton, and obviously Will.
Carlton.
But this time it's like super serious. The episodes are all like an hour long. It's all about the like class and stuff like that, and like the super lives of the super elite and how he fits into that and stuff. I think I watched like 1 or 2 episodes of it, but it didn't capture me. I'd have to be in the right frame of mind for watching it. But that's stuff like that fits in with this as well, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. It's cool. I love random spin-offs of stuff. That's why so a lot of the comics I have, there was a graphic novel in Marvel came out called Secret Wars, where a new kind of universe got created and a new Earth got created that was called Battle World, and it was basically then what they managed to do is create these random stories of all these characters in different ways. I'm going to do that in the comics anyway with like alternate universes, and I love all that alternate stuff. Like this could be happening here, and this could be happening over there, and this is a new reimagined version of this character. I think that stuff's really fun.
You're much more comic booky than what I am. The only comic books I used to read were X-Men, but I'm pretty sure the Blade movies were way more violent than what the original comic books were as well. Is that right? Is that true, or because I'm not sure?
I haven't read much. I haven't read much Blade, but to be fair, I think the comics are actually more violent than.
Oh wow!
They can be more violent than any movies because they get away with doing a lot more. They don't pander to kids; they're like for adults, you know. So I think depending on which character you're reading.
So at the end of the first Blade film, Doctor Strange was supposed to show up initially, so that would have been a whole different thing. God knows what they would have done with him, but yeah, he was supposed to show up at the end of the first Blade film, and that was back in 1999 or 2000, I think. So or 98, yeah. So that would have been interesting as well.
Well, the Doctor Strange comics are way more like eldritch magic, like can be a bit more like spooky down the horror end as well, like than the actual Doctor Strange movies are. They're way more weird and, all that sort of sense. So they kind of missed out on that a little bit with the Doctor Strange movies. But, they had a direction they had to film in, I guess. So,
yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to the fit talk. So I thought we'd discuss. I started training in a gym again, so I have remembered the gym etiquette as a thing. And I was wondering what your biggest, and it doesn't even have to be in terms with etiquette of the gym, but just in training in general, if you had any big like no-nos, like this is not something that I will ever do, or even I'll never get a client to do this, or I make sure that this is done. So like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Like one of my biggest no-nos is fucking leaving your kit out. Like gets on my tits. Like it takes you 2 seconds to walk the kit back to wherever you put it, put your plates away, put your dumbbells away. I would say that we are really bad in our gym at doing that. But that's more of a time thing because we have a certain amount of time with our client and it doesn't matter too much. But in a commercial gym where you're fine, you need to put your fucking kit away.
Yeah.
But do you have any big no-nos that in the gym when it comes to training or when it comes to etiquette?
Yeah, and one of mine is the main reason I don't train at a gym because I hate adhering to this rule myself, and that is don't hog more than one piece of equipment at a time. If you're supersetting, you've got to you can't ask someone else not to use it just because you're trying to get your workout in. That's not how it works. If you're supersetting, you've got to let people jump in and out, but then the etiquette works both ways. And if you are supersetting, you should be able to say to someone, "Oh, hi, I'm using both. Can I jump back in on between this as well?" It's all about being polite, isn't it? And courteous to people, I think. But this is one of the things that we do, where we think of when we design our programs for other people is, can we make this as easy as possible when it comes to supersetting and stuff like that? So that's probably my biggest pet peeve. And a big gym no-no is thinking you have ownership over like multiple bits of equipment just because you've got a superset, because the fact is many other people have probably got a superset as well. So
yeah, that's something actually quite a lot of trainers don't think about. A lot of trainers don't think about actually just the logistics of the gym. Like, how are they going to be having to move around in this gym? Have you given them a superset of 2 exercises that are opposite sides of the gym, so they're more likely to have a piece of kit like be taken over by somebody else? It's a lot of trainers will just go, "I want them to do this exercise. I don't care," but don't think about like actually all this kit is you're giving them way too much kit to use in one fucking giant set. It's not going to work. So how can you simplify that? Like making supersets with dumbbells is super easy because you can just have the set of dumbbells next to you and you're not taking up much room. But having it with like multiple resistance machines is a bit shit.
Yeah, one of the godsends that I've found in recent years, it's become even more so in the last like 5 years or so, I would say, is that when I'm doing my online training with clients, most big gyms, not all gyms, but most big gyms, you can take a 3D tour through it on their webpage. And that helps me design their programs. Like that's the kind of detail that like me and you go to. We have a look at the layout of the gym, so we're like, okay, it makes sense. At most, what we'll try to get someone to do is maybe carry a couple of kettlebells or a couple of dumbbells over to a piece of machinery so they can do the superset like that if they're doing supersets. But other than that, we try to keep it as simple as possible. But yeah, I don't like hogs. Like that is people who have a set of entitlement that they want both bits at the same time. Yeah, you're in a rush, you've got to get away back to work, so does everyone else. So yeah.
I guess my other big no is, because I see it happen all the time, and it really it gets my tits with people, especially with like newer clients who may not have technique yet or may be relatively new, is not testing all the time. So you get some clients, and I get it, I understand it. You start training, you get really excited, and you just like want to see, and they'll maybe do one test great, and then like 4 weeks later, that I just want to test again. I just want to lift this heavy weight again. You see it with you've seen me with the that group of guys who train. And if the other day I was training them, and I think it was earlier in the week, and I turned my back for 2 seconds and they started loading up the fucking bar to try and do a max deadlift. I'm like, what are you doing? This is not on the plan yet. There's no need, because there's smart programming means you put them through a peak and you go through that. There's no need to test right now. We'll test in a bit, but you just wait.
Yeah, that is something I see all the time. And off the back of that, something similar, and we've done a whole episode on this, that is people who just shirk off their rest breaks because they're just like, I want to get it done. I want to lift heavy again straight away. There are real biological reasons why we program in rest breaks that just are going to mess you up. Basically, if you can lift that weight again after 2 minutes, then you're not working to your max potential. So if I've given you a 2-minute rest break, you should want that 2-minute rest break, and that is that's something that's similar to like the wanting to max out all the time. It's just wanting to go and just attack it. That can be awkward for some clients sometimes, because some of them is. And this is something that us trainers can help highlight, but it's something that clients themselves really need to work on. There's one in particular that I train who I know struggles with this, and that is they struggle with the rest breaks because they don't know what they should be doing or thinking about. No matter how much I say to them, it's cool, just use it, relax, just you use this to think about the next lift, get in the mood for the next lift. You start getting fired up towards the end. But some people don't want to have to think about anything else while they're in the gym, which is fair, but they don't know enough. It's for us, it's more about the clients who come in. They don't really care the weight they lift necessarily. They don't care how many sets and reps they do. They leave it all up to us to count that stuff. They just come here to work out, but they still want to progress at the same time. And they just want to move all the time as well. And that can be quite hard when they have kind of specific goals, but they don't like the way in which they're attained. Not like, but they want to just carry on. Does that make sense? So it sounds like for people who don't know what I'm talking about, it's probably quite hard to understand what I'm trying to say. But
you get some clients who have like a desk job or like a really stressful working life, and they just want to come in and like just smash it. They just want to like nail an hour and like it be kind of brutal and non-stop because it's their kind of meditative process. However, once they start getting into training, they start going, oh, well, actually, now I found that I want to lift really heavy, and then not then understanding that actually those two kind of styles of training don't often work hand in hand. So there's a different way to do it, and then it becomes a hard like process to change. You've got to change that habit. So they kind of want two things that are on the opposite sides of the spectrum. That's the problem.
I think the type A or the red type of personalities are just so go. They don't want to take rest breaks as well. It's like if I'm resting, I'm not achieving. But yeah, that's like no matter how many times you explain it to them, like it's hard for them to get out that mentality.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on to study time. And study time today is another AI-based study time, but this one actually doesn't look scary. It looks like it might be all right. And I'll just read the title here. How old are you biologically? AI can tell your true age by looking at your chest. AI-powered model using chest X-rays helps develop biomarkers for aging. So I like this. I think this is cool. I'm going to read through it, but I just think the idea that we're potentially now going to be able to test people's age correctly is kind of cool. So this is coming out of Osaka Metropolitan University, and I think now we've had a few studies from Osaka to do with this kind of stuff. So they're obviously pushing this kind of direction and this route, which is awesome. So I'll have a little read now of the study, and then we'll go from there. So Osaka Metropolitan University scientists have developed an AI model that accurately estimates a patient's age using chest radiographs of healthy individuals collected from multiple facilities. Furthermore, they found a positive relationship between differences in the AI estimated and chronological ages and a variety of chronic diseases such as hypertension, hyperuricemia, sorry if I pronounce that wrong, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD. In the future, it is expected that AI biomarkers will be developed to predict life expectancy, estimate the severity of chronic diseases, and forecast surgery-related risks. What if looking your age refers not to your face but to your chest? The university scientist it's reading the same thing. And basically, this is pretty wicked. So they are going to potentially be able to see if you have a chance of getting any of these chronic diseases. And for those who don't know, obviously hypertension is high blood pressure, which can be a massive problem. I'm not sure what hyperuricemia is, but COPD is like a brutal respiratory disease that generally you can get it from a lot of things, but predominantly smoking is what causes COPD. And if this AI can see, one, maybe this is how long you're going to live. Two, this is your chances of getting these diseases. And here are the risks of surgery if you're going to have surgery compared to just this, because we do know some risks of surgery now, depending on what age you are. But if this is going to be able to specify even more, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, the thing I really like about this sort of stuff that's coming out now is that the Peter Attia talks quite a lot about this, and some of the problems with the medical field at the moment, especially in the public sector, is that it's all very reactionary still. So you have to wait until you're a certain age to get certain scans, but it makes way more sense to try to get ahead of it beforehand. But basically, the industry doesn't have enough resources to be able to test, treat, and find all these things beforehand. So with this sort of technology, it just makes it so much easier. I need to sneeze, so if I mute myself in a minute, that's why. And I'll probably put a really stupid face. But yeah, nice. I think it was you who brought up the other study about the ability for AI to pick up on things 70% more effectively and efficiently than what doctors could. I can't remember what that was in relation to, but that was another health field as well. So
that was to do with heart scans.
Was it heart scans?
To do with reading. Fuck, what they called? Reading a specific heart thing.
Right.
I can't remember.
Was it an angiogram or was it something else?
Something along those lines. Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, this is some of the most. We talk about AI and the worrisome parts of it as well. And I mean, soon we're going to have bionic bodies anyway, so that doesn't matter. But but this is the sort of stuff where AI is going to come into its own, because again, it takes the subjectivity out and it's just pure objective data. It's like the AI won't doubt itself, which can sometimes be a bit scary in some scenarios, but it's looking at everything and it's just got a reference. It can self-reference itself through millions, possibly billions of other data, which is gonna just give it such more power than a person looking through
it. Yeah, it's such good. Basically, what they're creating is it's essentially what Brian Johnson's doing. That's it's his protocol. Like we've talked about it loads, but his protocol is basically just test, and then go see what the tests say and then improve on that. And this is what this is doing. This is just a system that's going, right, we've done the test, you're likely to get this, so you need to change this, and then adding the protocols in after that, which is great. So that's more what we need. More going, instead of going, oh, these people are okay at the minute, instead going, no, actually, this is what, if you keep living the way you're living, the potential for this, and this is going to happen. So you need to switch your shit up, or else it's going to get worse.
I just looked up what hyperuricemia is. Basically, it's elevated uric acid level in the blood. So uric acid is like the waste stuff, the waste product that the body needs to get rid of, that comes from the body just through everyday living. So all of that stuff, man, that is incredibly important. And my hope for this is that it does allow it to be so easy that it becomes part of a yearly checkup. It's not something reserved for when you start getting 40, 50, 60, and people can start getting checked up like every year from year dot. Because again, this is something that Peter Attia says, that the further ahead you can, and most of this stuff is all related to metabolic diseases of some sort or another. The further ahead you can get with this stuff, the earlier you can catch this stuff, obviously the better you're going to have chance of treating it. And not only that, but the potential for it, which is what this article was saying. Like, if you can analyze the potential for having it, then you could hopefully get rid of the risk factors.
Yep, definitely. So this is great. The more this I know we always talk about how scary this AI shit is, but also it's got the potential to do so much good. So hopefully this works, gets rolled out, and we see it start getting implemented. So Jack, let's move on to our hot topic for today.
Let's do it.
And my hot topic is how to bench press huge weight.
I'm quite disappointed that you haven't put the 1,000,000 kilos mark on this like you did with the squat, if I'm honest.
Well, my result out of this is to get you bench pressing so much that the big dude in the gym praises you. That you go in, and then the big dude starts going up. He comes up to you, Jack, and goes, "Oh, Big Jack, how you doing?" And then you go, "Oh my God, he called me Big Jack." And it's like, "Oh my God, amazing." And my drivers for this, my reason is for the boys. This is for the boys. This is
Kitty day.
Yeah, exactly. Best day of the week. So our actions is I'm going to give you all the solutions. So same vein as the squat episode, I'm going to give you 3 issues, give you the solutions for those issues, and then give you my ultimate benching tool at the end, which is a little bit different to what the squat one was, which is nice. So as always, Jack, pipe up if you have anything to say. If not, shut your mouth and sit there in silence. So, Issue number 1. Issue number 1. Common issue with the bench press. If you struggle pressing off your chest, so you think, right, you know what, I'm going for my test. You feel good, you get all the way down to your chest, and then all of a sudden you can't move the bar off your chest. It's debilitating. It emasculates you. You just feel like ass afterwards. So we're going to stop that from happening. Now, the number 1 solution first is you need to make sure your setup is good. You need to make sure your setup is good, your technique is good. So with your setup of the bench press, if you don't know how to set up correctly on the bench press, then we're probably going to have to put a quick tutorial out on how to get a good bench press setup. But you want to make sure that your shoulder blades are, and your scapula is scooped up underneath your back, so you're squeezing your shoulder blades down and back against the bench, so you can elevate your chest as much as you can. You push your chest up as much as you can, and then press through your feet. When I say press through your feet, you want to press through your feet so it pushes your back into the bench more, not so it lifts your hips up. You want to push your feet through the floor so you can push your back into the bench more and elevate your chest. And that way you're going to get so tight into the bench and solid that you should be able to press off your chest a little bit better. What a common issue is, a lot of people get the bar to their chest and their chest sinks. And then they lose all the tension they've got, and they lose all the power and everything. So you want to make sure your chest is lifted the whole time when you get the bar to your chest. So that's the first thing.
Just so I can, when we're talking about this setup, so me and Josh are massive advocates of the powerlifting kind of setup. So this is kind of what we're talking. This is the way this is to shift the huge weight. If you're looking at pure from bodybuilding terms, then your setup will probably be different. But I think that this way of doing it is amazing because it allows you to handle more weight, and then you can use the other bench press variations to improve the other parts. So it's like to improve chest development. So remember, this is aimed at pressing bigger weight on a bench press.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if you want to press big weight, you obviously always follow the people that press most weight, and they're all powerlifters. So we will follow that kind of style. And then the second solution is to do paused reps. I mean, obviously, paused reps is going to be one of your best tools in the bank if you're struggling getting off your chest. With paused reps, you'll need to drop the weight a little bit, and then still, though, wanting to work for whenever it comes to strength, you're wanting to work in that higher percentage, so above like 75% in a lower rep range. But paused reps, you want to bring the bar all the way to the chest, pause on the chest for however many seconds. I recommend a good 2 to 3 seconds is a good amount of time for a pause rep, and then press cleanly off the chest and smooth, not just like bouncing the bar off your chest. Press clean off the chest. Doing lots of paused reps will really help getting the bar off your chest.
Yeah, we talked about this on the last episode as well, and didn't we? In terms of like just understanding that weak point and starting from the bottom. And that is, that's a really good. That's where most people fail. It's that last inch. They're like, whenever we ask our people to ask our clients to say, right, come on, let's see if we can get it all the way down to the chest. They're like, oh, for fuck's sake, that last inch. And that's the most common thing we hear. So that pausing down the bottom is going to help you come back out the hole.
Yeah, definitely. That's what she said. So the last point here is at the bottom of the chest, at the bottom of the press, your anterior delts and rear delts, so your shoulders and your lats, do quite a lot of the work getting the bar off your chest. They do a lot of work. So we need to make sure we get our shoulders and lats stronger. A lot of people, when they're doing bench and trying to get stronger in bench, they only really focus on their chest, when actually the lats and the shoulders do play a big part in the bench press. So doing stuff like overhead press, lat raises, pull-ups, lat pull-downs, rows, bent over rows, all that sort of stuff, and getting stronger in them, not just focusing on getting them bigger, but getting them stronger, is going to help pressing off your chest.
Yeah, that's perfect. So again, it's using the whole body. It's not just using the triceps and the chest muscles. You're actually trying to get everything locked into the bench. Yeah, if you think of, I'd like to tell my clients to have the points of stabilization, which is their feet, their butt, and their shoulders. Like that's what's stabilizing you on the bench, and something that's really locking that all together is the lats, just putting that all down. So yeah, that's really good tip.
Yeah, definitely. So moving on, issue number 2 is you get stuck halfway. This can happen quite a lot. Really fucking annoying. You feel like you're doing really well. You've got it off your chest. You get halfway up, and then it just doesn't happen. We see it happen quite a bit. There's a few solutions here. 3 solutions. The first one, and one of the common things that happen when you get stuck halfway, is people's elbows. They start off really good, but then their elbows flare out. And what happens when the elbows flare out is you generally start to go into your shoulders, and the bar position changes. So you need to focus on your elbow position whilst benching. Generally, we like a 45-degree angle away from the body, or having the elbows underneath the barbell and underneath your wrist, underneath your barbell, and keeping that good elbow position throughout the press. So really focusing on that technique as you're pulling down. As you're pulling down, making sure our elbows are in the right place. As you're pressing, making sure our elbows are in the right place. Because as soon as your elbows start flaring out, that's going to make the press a lot harder and really fast as well, and make it a lot harder, really, really quick.
Yeah, the next episode, we're going to talk about how to prime certain muscle groups as well. And this can be one of the reasons why your elbows flare out. If you can't connect to your chest in the first place, then doing something, I love cables or bands for this, doing a set or maybe 2 sets of light chest flies to connect to the chest before you go onto your bench. You don't want to fatigue it. It's just enough to wake them up. Just wake up your chest muscles, then go into the bench press. You're more likely to be able to connect to your chest, which is going to stop your elbows from flaring out too much here.
Yeah. So next solution is if you're getting stuck halfway, a lot of the problem can be your triceps. If your triceps are weak, that can have a major impact on your press. So there's 2 solutions here can kind of go hand in hand. And one of them is to build stronger triceps at that sticking point. So what you could do is a board press. Now, if you're in a powerlifting gym, they'll have boards or blocks that you can put on your chest and go to that point and then press. If you don't have that, you can get like a foam cube, anything you've got that's just going to basically put a stopper in the way of your chest and a bar at that point in which you get stuck, and then work on that point, and so bench to that point. And then also the third solution here would be to do close grip bench presses, so a narrower grip when you're benching, and work on getting stronger through that press.
Yeah, perfect. I must admit, it's not something I've really played with as ball presses that much. I've programmed them in for people who need it, and they're really, really valuable as well. Again, just to get out of that sticking point.
Yeah, definitely. So issue number 3. Issue number 3 is missing the lockout. That last little bit, and that is the worst bit. If you get basically all the way there and then miss the lockout,
you missed
then
on the last one.
What did I miss?
Close grip on the getting stuck halfway one for the triceps.
Oh yeah, sorry. Third solution on the getting stuck halfway is do close grip bench presses. So make sure that we are narrower press. That way you're going to hit your triceps more, and then you can get a lot stronger in that position.
Yeah.
Close grip bench presses are awesome. One of my favorite variations of bench anyway. I really like doing close grip bench presses. If you can get your close grip to like the same kind of weight your normal press, that's going to make a massive amount of difference anyway.
Yeah, you got to be nails doing that. What's that other? Is it the J press that you do as well? That's also disgusting and gross. Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming in a minute. So,
sorry. Yeah.
No, don't apologize. That's great.
Yeah.
So, issue number 3, as I was saying, is the lockout. Is missing the lockout, and that's horrible. If you miss the lockout, you get so close to the end and you don't quite get it. Now, I looked up this actually because I was doing a bit of research, and Westside Barbell, if you've heard of Westside Barbell, some of the best powerlifters in the world have come out of Westside Barbell, and they recommend doing pin presses from the miss point. So if you are like right near the top, doing pin presses from there, which seems like it'd be like a really short range, but that is a good way of building up strength in that. And what you can do in that point is really overload the weight. So you can go a bit heavier than normal and overload it and do pin presses from that point.
Yeah, I think the most valuable part for the pin press from that miss point, especially if it's higher, is it's the ability to keep the shoulders tucked into the bench, because sometimes when you're really struggling to punch up at the top, when you get it, sometimes you'll just punch your shoulders too far forward and you'll lose tension at the top. Sometimes you lose tension at the bottom, other times you lose it at the top. But losing it at the top is just as dodgy, probably actually more dodgy, because if you lose complete tension at the top, you're more likely to drop it on your face. So yeah, that pin press on the miss point, that's going to really help lock in that tightness all around. I like that quite a lot. Another thing, you could almost overload the bar from the pin press miss point and do some isometric training at that point as well, making sure the body's locked in. I think that would work out quite nice as well.
Yeah, definitely. the other side is if your endurance is pretty low, that can make an impact. So you could do high rep sets. So even like once a week, you could do like ultra like high rep sets where you do like 30, 50 reps and just pump it out. That is good to do, just to throw in there and make sure you've got that bit of endurance there if that's a problem. The last solution here is heavy JM presses. So Jack kind of alluded to this a minute ago. JM press is it's similar to it's a mix between skull crushers and close grip bench press, where you, instead of doing a skull crusher to your head, you almost do a skull crusher to your chest and then press away. That is awesome for the triceps and will really help with your lockout. It's a great exercise.
Yeah, it really is. You got to have healthy elbows for it. I will say that. So probably Easy Bar is the best thing to use for that, to make sure it's a bit more joint friendly if you get any pain going anywhere. But if you can get strong in a JM press, you're going to be a badass. There's no two ways about that.
Yeah, definitely is a great idea. So they're my issues and solutions for getting stronger in the bench press. Obviously, there's loads more stuff you can do, but if you just use these for now, your bench is going to improve generally. If you focus on getting better in all of these positions, and if you only have one of these where you get stuck at, then focus on those 3 solutions for your problem, and then your bench will definitely get stronger. Now, my ultimate benching tool is a bit different to what it was for the squat. So for the squat, it was the 10-second squats. Now, my ultimate benching tool here is actually having a spotter. Having a spotter, I think, for the bench is key. I think it's really key because I think a lot of people waste a lot of energy unracking a heavy weight from a bench. And also, people will sacrifice a couple of reps because they don't have a spotter. Whereas if you have a spotter, you're more likely to go for more reps. So I definitely think having a spotter is your ultimate benching tool.
Yeah, I mean, you usually spot for me, and you are a tool, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I do agree. I have to go, especially when I'm training in my gym here, because my rack is a little bit too narrow for me to go inside it, so I can't use the spotter arms because I've got the spotter arms only attached on the inside. So I have to, just for my own safety, like leave a rep or 2 in the tank each time I'm bench pressing. But I think it's what you said is completely accurate. A lot of people think spotting is just for when you're failing a rep. For me, I want my spotter for helping me unrack, because, like you said, you waste so much energy. It's really fatiguing because you've almost got to put your elbows in a more unnatural position to unrack, depending on the kind of thing you're unracking off. Which is just gonna, then you have to take the time, although it's only like a millisecond, you still have to then take the time to re-lock yourself back in. And that's all wasted energy, especially if you're going heavy on the bench. So having a spotter to help you unrack and re-rack is a really good shout.
Yeah, definitely. So I will quickly run through those points now. So if you are struggling to press off your chest, then the solutions are improve your setup, do paused reps, and get stronger shoulders and lats. If you get stuck halfway, then focus on elbow position in the bench, build stronger triceps at sticking points with board press and close grip bench presses. Issue number 3 is if you get missing the lockout, then pin press from the miss point, increase endurance by doing high rep sets and heavy JM presses. And the ultimate benching tool, have a spotter, and a good spotter that is. Don't have a spotter who just like throws the bar at you.
Yeah, I agree with all of them. I think they're good, and all of this can be attributed to incline press as well as like flat bench press as well. Whichever one you're focusing on getting stronger on, like all of these will definitely help. So yeah, get on it. Go get some massive boobies. No matter if you're a man or a woman, just go and increase that chest size. And we want to hear how successful this is. Yes, that I will be honest. My chest and shoulders, visually, aesthetically, have always been my weak point. So my shoulders, especially, I'm working on at the moment, and my chest. My chest is starting to come in. It's my inner chest muscles, so it's all about the flies and stuff for me at the minute, and genetics.
Yeah, man. Well, it's this life. Just life does what it does, you know. It's it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Your arms do look fucking huge all the time, though. So you're lucky there.
Yeah, but you know, I'm not going to blow my own horn on this. I'm going to say that's only because my shoulders and my chest look small. It's all relative. It's all relative. So yeah, it is what it is. But
it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm going to grow my boobie. I'll do a boobie diary and show the results.
Great. I'm excited. I'm excited to see your huge chest.
Thank you.
That and the development of that. Yeah, it's going to be great. So, Jack, I've got a bit of advice for you. And that's don't ever challenge death to a pillow fight unless you're prepared for the repercussions.
Oh my fucking God. Very good. Very, very good. Repercussions.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. That's actually a good brand. Maybe we should start another company called Repercussions. That'd be quite good. Just in the shape of skies, scythes, and stuff like that. That'd be pretty epic. Holy shit! I want to.
It'd be awesome.
Very good. Okay, Josh, why didn't you tell the people where they can find us?
They can find us at the Lifting Lounge on YouTube or our RDA systems on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. And also find our website, www.theliftinglounge.com.
Amazing. Anything else? Can't remember.
Amazing.
Mate,
oh fuck, we got so many social media.
We got so many.
Yeah, we got ourselves as well. We also exist.
Oh, we do exist, yeah. I'm Jack from the Lifting Lounge. Here's Josh from the Lifting Lounge. But guys, please, wherever you listen to us or watch us or just generally drink in our lushness, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Leave comments on the social medias. Leave notification bells. Hit notification bells. Leave likes. Leave comments. Subscribe. Share. All of that shit as much as you can to get us out to the world so we can just help people be better. And Josh, this has been under an hour long, even when I've added the intro and outro on. Look at that. That's impressive.
Oh, shit.
That is the first time in a while.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, that's perfect. That's good. That was our initial goal. Guys, until next time, have a great day, and we will see you soon.
See you later.
Bye.